Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah here from Sew Sarah Style. I hope you're all well. Today is the reveal day for the Sew Upcycle 23 challenge run by Karen from So Little Time and Becky from Notes of a Sewing Room. So the challenge, as I'm sure you're aware, is to get something that's already made, like sort of a made garment from a charity shop, or a duvet cover or curtains or anything that's already in existence, and repurpose it, recycle it to for a better use. So I decided on dragging some of my whips works in progress out of the box of shame and doing them up. So it's been a really good opportunity actually for me to just get going on those, so I don't feel so guilty about them now. They're up, they're out in the world. So I'll just talk you through what they are and how I got on with them. The first one I am wearing, this is the Sewing by Mason Sicily slip dress with as you know, the wider shoulder straps. It's also, obviously you can make it in a spaghetti strap as well. Made from just a cheap poly that I got from eBay. I think I must have made a mistake with the cutting out, and the front of the dress was a good few inches longer than the back, so I just decided to chop it off and have it as a top. So I think it's been quite successful. I've got sort of a half tuck thing going on here, but equally it works well as a top. I don't know, it sort of flares out slightly here. I think that's kind of the nature of bias cut anyway, but I've done a sort of very carefully done a rolled hem on it, so I prefer it actually tucked in, so I think it sort of sits better. But I haven't worn it yet, but I know that I will get plenty of wear out of this as a top rather than a dress, which was getting nowhere at all because it just wasn't finished. I hadn't even hemmed it because it had dropped so much at the front and not at the back. So that is make number one. Bear with me and I will come back to you with make number two. So this is make number two. I know I made all sorts of promises of chopping it up and making it into a padded waistcoat with a ruffle neck and all the rest of it. When it actually came down to it and I laid the pieces on, I literally was going to have to squeeze it on to the point where it was going to probably end up being even smaller than the waistcoat that I'd already made, which was, as you could see, was only just big enough. I could only just do it up. So I just thought, actually, ultimately, that's probably going to be a waste of fabric, because also I think when you quilt things, that makes it smaller as well. So I would have gone to all that trouble and then ended up with a garment which wasn't wearable. So I just bit the bullet and thought, well, let's just finish off what I've started. So this isn't actually going to be entered because it's not strictly an upcycle. It's a finish of a work in progress, but I'm so glad I did, because although it's definitely still not the right fabric for the job, it's too stiff and bobbly, I still think it makes a wearable top and I actually quite like it. So again, I might just do the half tuck with it, which I'm kind of a bit obsessed with. I'll come up a bit closer so you can see. Because it's a needle cord, it's a heavy fabric really to have an off the shoulder top. My aim really was to have it a bit higher up, but then it kind of bulks up even more over the shoulders. It's just too thick for this. So pull it down, and I'm thinking, well, if it's just, you know, sort of a meal out somewhere with jeans, fairly casual, I think it's going to do the trick. My inspiration to do this was actually this top here, which is again the M7543, the McCall's. I can't remember whether I've just told you whether that's what it is, but that's the pattern. And I think I cut it so that the neckline was higher. So basically when I wear that, it's up around the neck. I prefer high necks anyway. But again, this is a really, really light, just a crepe de chine, I think it's called. So it drapes really nicely and it works much better. So I think I made this first, and then for some inexplicable reason thought, oh, I'll make it in a needle cord as well. So it's not a complete disaster. I think I've salvaged it. Again, as I say, I'm not entering it for Sew Upcycle, but I just wanted to show you that although I haven't done the waistcoat with it, I have made a wearable garment. So actually I'm really quite pleased with it. But I would not recommend anybody makes the M7543 from needle cord. It is for lightweight fabrics only. Right, so that's number two, and I will now get changed into the ex-Star Wars outfit that was, and show you what I've done with that. So hang on, bear with me again. So here I am in my sort of Naya t-shirt top. It's been a bit of a bodge, but actually I think it works and I really like it. This has just come out of the wash because it's kind of been worn on repeat. As I say, I had a tiny bit extra, so I managed to, I cut the front, that was fine. I've got extra seam lines on the front slightly. That was from the widest part of the bottom of the Star Wars style jacket. And then I had a little bit of extra fabric, so it was really tight to cut out. So I used that little bit of extra to do one half of the back, and the other half I got out of the actual top itself. But as you can see, because it was a little bit tight, I just added a strip of, it's the same fabric, it's just to flip the other way around, to put a strip up the back, which was inspired by the, I think it's called the strip tee actually, by Made It Patterns, which unfortunately aren't in business anymore, but I think you can still buy that pattern in on eBay or whatever. I utilised, I'd gone to a lot of trouble when I made that top, and I used sort of these bound sort of folded edges all the way right down the front and across the bottom. So that was really useful. I literally just chopped those off and managed to put a strip around the bottom. Same with the sleeve pieces, which are part of the Naya anyway, so those were already there. And ta-da, as you've probably noticed, I've still kept the ridiculous hood. So for comedy value, it's still with me. Now, I have to say, one of the comments made me laugh so much. She said it reminded her of the Shania Twain, the Shania Twain outfit. So I kind of thought before, I know it reminds me of something, I couldn't think what it was. I will put a picture in of Shania Twain looking totally fabulous and hot in her leopard hooded jacket with bra top and flares. Now, if I looked like her, then maybe I would have just made a bra top and stuck with the jacket and be done with it. But as it is, I don't. But I'm really pleased with this jacket. As I say, well, this hooded top. I don't have to wear the hood up at all, unless it's a stinking day like today, which is absolutely pouring with rain. But I just think it added to it. I'd gone to so much trouble to make the hood. It kind of pained me just to throw that away. So I just thought, oh, I'll try and use it around the neckline, and actually it worked. It all fitted okay. It's ever so slightly bodged. Look, I'm being really honest now and showing you a close-up. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. It's a throw-on hooded t-shirt. What can I say? And I am really pleased with it. So thank you so much to Karen and to Becky for your brilliant challenge, because it's given me 3 tops now to wear, whereas, as I say, they were literally all just stuck in a box. I think probably the rest of them, I might wait till next year's challenge, we'll see. There are some horrors still lurking in there, but for this year anyway, I've got, as I say, 3 tops which I'm enjoying wearing. So really looking forward to having a look on Instagram today. Don't forget to post your befores and afters on Instagram. Actually, what I will do is add some of my befores as well as I'm talking through, so you'll get to see those. So add your befores and afters on Instagram so we can have a look at the transformation. So I really look forward to seeing all those. And thanks again to Becky and Karen. Take care. Bye.